Thank you. Today, the justice system worked. And I want to begin by commending Chuck Cooper and his team, who represented the defendants in this case. They were able and energetic advocates for their cause, and Ted and I appreciate the professionalism with which they brought to this task. It's also, I want to commend our trial team. Ted and I and Terry, who were up front a lot of the time, could not have been there without the many, many people at Gibson and Crutcher, at Boies, Schiller and Flexner, and at the office of the City and County of San Francisco, all of whom devoted enormous time and effort and commitment to this. Ted and I are also particularly conscious of the fact that we have an opportunity to be here because of years and indeed decades of sacrifice and commitment of many people who went before us, who fought a lot of the hard battles when things were even more difficult, who made the kind of accomplishments and made the record that we could build on. And here in San Francisco, I can't celebrate today without mentioning the mayor, Gavin Newsom, who took courageous stands when it was not nearly as easy as it is today to do that. The people that are really the heroes here, though, are our plaintiffs. Jeff and Paul and Chris and Sandy, your love for each other, your courage and your commitment in bringing this lawsuit, the passion and clarity with which you testified impressed everybody in the courtroom. This is your victory, and your victory more than anything else. Ted, in his closing, gave what I think was the best oral argument I've ever seen or heard. But he said something in that argument that was really true. And he said, the best argument that I could give is simply to let you read again and hear again the testimony of our plaintiffs, because they made the case for marriage equality with greater clarity and greater passion than any lawyer could. We said at the beginning of this case that we would prove three things. We said we would prove that marriage was a fundamental right. We said we would prove that depriving gay and lesbian couples of the right to marry seriously harmed them and harmed the children that they're raising. And we said we would prove that depriving gay and lesbian couples of the right to marry had no redeeming social value, no contribution to heterosexual marriage, no legitimate state interest. We proved all three of those things. We proved them not only from our experts, who were the leading experts in the world, but on cross-examination, we proved it out of the mouths of the defendant's own witnesses. The defendant's own witnesses ended up admitting that marriage was a fundamental right. They could hardly have done elsewhere, since the United States Supreme Court has held that, as Ted has pointed out a number of times, for more than 80 years. Second, they admitted, as our experts demonstrated, that depriving gay and lesbian couples of the right to marry seriously harms them and it seriously harms their children, and the judge found those facts today. And their witnesses ended up admitting that they had no evidence that permitting gay and lesbian marriage in any way harms the institution of marriage. And indeed, on the contrary, as our witnesses demonstrated, permitting marriage equality strengthens all marriage and strengthens the stability of that relationship for everybody in this country. And the judge found those facts today. At the beginning, I want to just end by expressing my appreciation for the careful, thoughtful analysis and time that the court gave us. You might think we would always do that when you win, but we would have done that even if we'd lost. Because as Ted and I said before we knew what the opinion was, we were very grateful for the time and attention that this court paid to this very important issue. And that is what, together with the plaintiffs, together with the cause, together with the law, and together with the facts, have made this justice system work today. There is much more to do to eliminate discrimination in this country. But today, we eliminate the last official area of discrimination. Gay and lesbians are the only part of our citizenry that is today subject to official, government-sponsored, government-enforced discrimination. And we take an enormous step to eliminating that with this decision today. Thank you.
I can't imagine a better legal team for the city and county of San Francisco to partner with than these two legal giants. Now, you've heard Chris and Sandy and Jeff and Paul talk much more eloquently than I or any lawyer could about what discrimination means to them now and what it has meant for them throughout the course of their lives. Well, the city attorney's office has had the good fortune to be involved in this marriage equality battle for 6 years in the state courts and now in the federal courts, working alongside this wonderful team put together by Chad Griffin and AFER, taking it to the next level. But why we have been involved and why it has been a continuing passion is something that David referred to: the state interest. As Judge Walker found, there is no legitimate government interest in fostering discrimination against anybody in this country. And it's important that individuals, not just the 18,000 couples that were married, not just people here in California, but millions of people across America, that they know that their government and their elected officials will stand by them to say that there is no interest, that there is an interest in government standing up for the equal rights of everybody in this country, irrespective of sexual orientation or anything else. And that's why I'm particularly gratified that Judge Walker was extremely clear in his opinion when he found that there is no legitimate governmental interest in discriminating on the basis of sex or sexual orientation. And then he went even further and said to allow that discrimination, there is a cost to the government, some of it quantifiable in terms of dollars, but also something much more deep, something more subjective, something that people expect out of their government, that they will be there to fight for the equal rights of all of their citizens. And that's why the city and county of San Francisco got involved in this case in the beginning, and why we were proud to work with others from across this state to ensure that people know that their government will stand by them and protect their equal rights under this Constitution to make sure we have the fairest system and most equal system that we can have. So it's been our privilege and our honor to work alongside this great team. And everybody's alluded to the fact that there's more work to be done. I can tell you after 6 years of this, it always seems like there's more work to be done. But we're all up to the task because it goes to the very basics of what our court system and our justice system is all about. Thanks very much.